Hi and good morning. Yes, it's working. I've tried something new with StreamYard, which is the platform that I use to do lives. So uh, let's see if it does what I hope it will do. Let's have a look. So it is the first of the month. So a happy month for you all. And I hope that this is not freezing. So let me have a look quickly and to see what's going on. So as always, say good morning. No, let me know that you're here so that I know that I'm not just talking to myself. That's always nice to know. There we go. So this is working. Let's just have a look and see what is actually happening and if it's all coming together with this new way. Because I love using PowerPoints. It helps us sort of focus on what we're doing. So, and I see that it's not doing it. Right, so we'll just do it in a different way. So today we are talking about you, as always, and your magnificent self, and how we often just live in the past or live in the future, and therefore we don't pay attention to living in the present moment now, and therefore we're missing so many opportunities of being the best version of ourselves. So I'm starting off by saying, have a good month. It's the 1st of June. Summer's coming, new opportunities, starting the new month. And I'm just curious as to what is it that you want to achieve in this month. So I just want to go straight on to my actual Facebook Live. Starting the new month. Right. So good morning, Maria, Glenn, and Lynette. Thank you for watching. I know that you're all over the world, so welcome. And I'm starting off by saying this month, I want you to start with the idea and the thought and the belief that you are magnificent. And why are you magnificent? Because of what you create in your life. So you may say, but yeah, I don't like what I'm creating in my life. So this is what we're going to be looking at today is like, what is it that's happening and what is it that we are mentally and energetically doing that is now not creating that. So I want you to choose you rather than your thoughts from the past or your thoughts from the future, because what you have right now, when you're thinking about where you are today, is the stuff that's going to make your life move and shape it to being the life living on your terms. So I am a live your life on your terms coach. I'm all about freedom, empowerment, finance, flow, and living that life that you want. So we all use the same structures. Hi, Nico. Hi, Alison. So we all use the same structure as what we are doing. In my book, They I Understand Me, it's basically a manual to you, to what you're doing, how you structure your thoughts, how your thoughts become your behaviors, and therefore then those behaviors turn into results that you have. And what happens is a lot of people are quite confused. They're not quite sure about how they're getting the results that they want. They're not quite sure what is it that is happening to them. And a lot of the time, when I start working with people, they start to think, good morning, Alison, they start to think that they are victims of circumstance. All right. Now, let's be very clear. What happens outside of yourself is not in your control. So in other words, what the government is doing or what other people are doing or, the attitude that people have is nothing to do with you. However, what has everything to do with you is how you respond, how you perceive, and how you interpret what's happening on the outside in relation to you. Okay, so if you are sitting in a place of going, this is really a difficult time because of the corona, because of the government, because of the economy, and all that kind of stuff, you are putting yourself into a victim place by seeing a lack of opportunity rather than what can I do differently. So we all use the same structures, but we all have our unique content. So that what we mean by we use our own structures is that we all work out of our values, out of our virtues, out of our limiting beliefs. We all have our own personal history, which is especially those first imprint years where we have been programmed to see things and understand things and respond to things in a certain way. However, when you get to an adult, you cannot carry on saying, it's not my fault, my mother didn't do this, or my father didn't do this, or my school teacher made me feel silly when I had to read out loud. You have to take that responsibility back and saying, okay, so this is what I started life with, and I started my life with the paradigms of others, but now I'm in control, I'm creating my life, and therefore these things that stop me, in other words, your unique content is not giving me the freedom and the way of living life on my terms, and therefore I have to take that responsibility to myself. So what do you want? And what you want is what everybody wants. So again, the content is the same, but the way your content works is unique to you. So what do we all want? We all want to be happy. We all want to be free. We all want to create a life on our terms. We all want to have success. We all want to have financial abundance so that we can live life on our terms, to do what we want to do, to work where we want to work, to start making our own business, to have the relationships at home, like to have the perfect partner. There is no perfect, we know that. To have a great relationship with your children, to be able to go on your holidays, to live in the house that you want, to live in the country that you want. We all want that. But the way that we want it and exactly what it is that we want is very unique to yourself. So the success that we measure for ourselves may be different to the success that somebody else measures, and that makes common sense. However, it's so interesting how people will look outside of themselves and look at what they think somebody else is doing and thinking, why is it that I can't do it? But the why I can't do it has to do with that, what we said before, your unique content. So our thoughts are part of our conditioned mind. So when we have thoughts, we, at that moment, in this specific moment in our times, we will think this is important, that isn't. So that thought flies away, but this thought becomes more important. And then that thought, in order to be able to communicate with the body, will say to the body, this is what this is about. So therefore, we create the chemicals that are our emotions. It tells our body how to behave because it gives that information. It changes us on a chemical balance. And therefore, we start to feel things about that thought. And when we do that, that's when the body believes that what is happening is true. So you see, your unconscious mind cannot tell the difference between a thought and reality. So the idea is for you to start paying attention to your emotions so that you are able to go, hold on, right now my emotions are making me feel uncomfortable. So just take a step back and start observing that emotion and understand what it's all about and asking yourself, what am I thinking right now that is creating this emotion? Hi, Sherry. What is creating this emotion right now that is making me feel this? So what is that thought? So when we have that thought, we can then ask ourselves, is that thought real? Thoughts are about what might happen or what may have happened, are the kind of things that take us away from living in this moment. So if we are thinking about what might happen, we are projecting into the future. And that, if it's doom and gloom and not yay, it's going to cause anxiety, it's going to cause fear, it's going to cause stress, it's going to cause that unsettled feeling. For the same token, when we have thoughts about what might have happened in the past, that's going to cause sadness and regret and, the kind of thing of, I wish I could have done it differently. But the truth is, we cannot step into the past and we cannot step into the future in this moment, and therefore we can't change it. So having those thoughts may be justified, but they're not going to really help you. So how do we stay present in this thought, in this moment, I mean? So when you are starting to feel those kind of feelings, that sadness or the anxiety, the fear, or the regrets and things like that, is to ask yourself, what is the emotion that I'm feeling? And when you're feeling those emotions, what is the thought that I'm having? Is this thought from the past or is it from the future? Where's this thought? And ask yourself, is this true? So you may say, yes, the thing from the past, it's true. Can I go back into the past and change it? No. So what can I take away from it? What can I learn? What can I adjust? How can I change my thought process and therefore my emotions, which then drive our decisions? How can I change the way I make these choices in my life and my decisions so that in the future, which will always be the now, I can do something different? For the same token, if I'm thinking about things in the future, do I know for sure that that's going to happen? And the thing is, nobody really knows. Nobody really knows what's going to happen in the next hour, never mind in the next 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. We can only work with what we have today. So how do we bring ourselves back into the here and now? And here's a very, very simple exercise, is get present with where you are. So how do we get present? Get in touch with your senses and ask yourself, what am I seeing right now? So for me, what I'm seeing my computer screen. I'm seeing my backyard, which is full of olive trees. I see sunshine. I see clouds. I see the walls. I see my books. What am I hearing? I'm hearing my voice. I'm hearing dogs barking in the background somewhere in my neighborhood. I hear all the birds chirping away. I hear a clock. What am I feeling? I'm choosing to feel calm and to feel present and to feel in the now. I can also say, I'm feeling my desk because I'm touching it. I'm feeling my book. I'm feeling my pen. So I can put my attention to everything that I'm feeling, both as an emotion inside and as my body on the outside. So I can feel the floor that my feet are resting on. I can feel my chair. I can actually feel the fabric of the chair. So I'm feeling that. Am I smelling anything? Nothing really in particular, except for a little bit of incense, because I'm burning some incense. I can smell that sage that is going on. Am I tasting anything? Yeah, I can taste. I've just had some coffee, so I can still taste some coffee in my mouth. And by doing that, by engaging your senses into the here and now, you bring yourself back to this moment. So in this moment, you can just allow your thoughts to go down into your heart and ask yourself, who am I? And start with saying, I'm magnificent. I am love. I'm inspiration. I am intelligence. I am kindness. I am forgiveness. I am empathy. All the beautiful virtues that make you up. And yes, you can even say, I'm insecurity, but I want to release that because I want to be secure. I want to be safe. I am safe. So start using the I am kind of statements. You can even take it a step further, and this is what I recommend everybody does in the morning, in part of your morning rituals, to say, what do you appreciate about yourself? So I appreciate that I'm comfortable speaking. I appreciate that I spend time building up my knowledge. I appreciate that I can share my knowledge and help others. I appreciate that I'm a kind person, that I'm a loving person. I appreciate so many things about myself. I then move into, what am I grateful for? I'm so grateful that I've woken up this morning because I'm able to do some more work with the world. I'm so grateful that I had a good night's sleep. And when I woke up, I had breath in my body, which means I'm not done. And I've got so much more to look forward to. I'm so grateful that I have food in my cupboard, that I have fuel in my car, that I have a home that I can live, that I've got water in my tap, that I've got clothes to wear. I'm so grateful that I've got beautiful animals that love me. I'm grateful for my family, for my daughters, for the interaction and the relationship I have with my husband, with my friends. I'm so grateful for so many things. What is my intention for the day? For today, what do I have? So one of my intentions was to do my morning rituals. My intention was to do my Facebook Live and share what I know and help somebody take another view of themselves, one that is better and bigger. My intention is to write an article. My intention is to do an invoice. I've got so many things that my intentions are for today. What is it that I want? What is my deepest desire? So I start to think about what I want. I do want to live life on my terms because that makes me feel like I'm free. And what does freedom mean to me? It's about choosing where I want to live. It's about having the money that I want. It's about being able to structure my day the way that I want. It's about having the freedom to take time off and to work whenever I want, as I want, and with those that I want. And that is what life, living on your terms, is all about. So allow your mind to connect with a much higher intelligence that lives within you. Because when you're constricted just with your mind, you're only working with your ego. And yes, part of your ego is about the great stuff in life, but part of it is about fear, because ego is very fear orientated. It's very risk averse. So part of your ego is to protect you from being humiliated. It's one of the biggest fears, if not the biggest fear that we all have, is that we are going to be humiliated with what we do, and therefore we're going to be rejected. And we know that if we are rejected, we are not being loved. So some people that I work with that run their own companies, their own businesses, would love to do Facebook Lives, but they're so scared of how they will come across that they don't do it. And therefore they hold themselves back, and they hold all their passions and their mission to help people, to step up, to support them, to heal them from trauma and all that, that they're not actually, by being scared of doing a Facebook Live and thinking that my face is not good, or my message is not going to be right, or, I'm going to look ridiculous and people are going to go, oh my goodness, who the hell do you think you are? That they don't actually do that, and they're holding themselves back. Whereas if they engage with that higher intelligence, then the mind can become the messenger to do the actions, to express yourself in the best way forward. It's a very interesting question, and I would encourage you, especially it's the first of the month, it's a Monday, it's the beginning of a new week, a new month, is to ask yourself, after you've said, I am magnificent, I am intelligent, I am capable, I am knowledgeable, I am service, is to ask yourself, what is the best way that I can express myself? And what is the way that I would love to express myself? In other words, get in touch with your deepest desire, because your deepest desire is very different to what you want. Usually when we say to ourselves, what is it that I want? Your mind goes straight to what it thinks it can achieve safely. So therefore, what you want is very much about what's going on right now, and having a better job, or having a better relationship with your boss, or having more clients for your business. But your biggest desire is to make an impact in the world. Your biggest desire is to live with purpose, to feel valuable, to feel worthy. Because at the end of the day, deep down inside of us, that is what makes us come alive. That's what energizes us, is when we know that what we contribute to the world, whether it's huge and humongous, or even if it is just to your family, it's what gives you purpose. And therefore, it gives you value. And by doing that, you feel like you matter. And therefore, if you matter, you feel that your life makes sense and that you're living with purpose. And that you can only do when you totally connect your mind and your body with your heart, with your energy self, with your higher intelligence. When you combine that and have a holistic approach to your life, that's when you'll be able to achieve what you want. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Oscar. Hi, Jim. And happy birthday. I believe it was your birthday yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Hi, Alexandra. So as I'm speaking, if there's any thoughts that you want to share or any questions that you have I can answer, please feel free to do so now. So you owe it to yourself to do the work and create the life, living life on your terms. Whether you're creating success or failure, it's all you're doing. And if your failure may be, I'm just surviving, but I'm not thriving, it doesn't mean that failure is that you're living in a box under a bridge. That is a choice that you're making by compromising the disconnect to who you really are. Allow yourself to recognize who you are. Don't worry about what people have said to you in the past. Remember, people's opinions are just people's opinions. You can choose to accept them or to reject them. And I know that sometimes that's really difficult, because when we hear a criticism from somebody, we can either feel hurt that somebody has actually criticized us, or we can go, that is that person's opinion out of their perception of life, out of their wanting to connect. They look at you and then they will criticize you. Now you can decide whether this is going to be something that you reflect inside and go, actually, you know what, they're right. And maybe I need to do something to change. Or perhaps they're not right. And that's okay too. Because if you know who you are and if you know what your self-worth is, then you can go, they're entitled to have their opinion, but you don't need to take that opinion on. And I find it so interesting when people say things like, oh, others or they or people will laugh at me, or I'm scared that, I will get rejected. And when I say to them, so who's going to reject you, or who's going to laugh at you, or who thinks that you're actually not good enough? Most of the time, they don't really know. So this becomes a very interesting thing. So how is it that somebody's opinion that you don't really know, or perhaps you really don't know them, or you know them a little bit, maybe through social media, or maybe you've met them once or twice. How is it that somebody that you don't really know that well in your life, that isn't engaged with you, that hasn't got your best interests at heart, why is it that their opinion matters more to you than your opinion of yourself? So the question for that is, good morning, Sue. Nice to see you here. So the question is that why are we giving so much value to the opinion of people that we don't really regard as people that love us, that support us, that unconditionally accept us and help us to be free? People that really care about us. Why is it that we give so much value, so much weight to the opinion of people that we don't really know, that people we don't even speak to on a monthly basis or a yearly basis or ever? But their opinion means more to you than your opinion of yourself. And that comes because of who you think you are. And who you think you are is just a mental creation, again, by other people's opinion. But if you really, really get in touch with yourself, you would know that actually you're amazing, you're kind, that you want everybody to be happy, just like you want to be happy. You want people to live free, just like you want to be free. Remember what I said at the beginning, that we all have the same structures. It's just how the structures put together that is different and unique to each and every one of us. But that doesn't mean that because yours is different to mine, you are right and I am wrong, or the other way around. So when we start to see the bigger picture, then we can start saying, thank you for that opinion, but it doesn't work for me. I don't think that that's what I need. I don't think that that is what's wrong with me. So this all starts with you. It just starts with you, and you owe it to yourself to take that time to go back into the here and now and ask yourself the intelligent questions. Remember that your unconscious is what you put in, you're going to get out. You give stupid questions, you're going to get stupid answers, because your unconscious is absolutely slave to answering you. It is what it has to do. So if you ask yourself of why am I constantly failing, it's going to look for all the mistakes that you've made, and it's going to make you feel really, really horrible about it. If you ask yourself all the times that I believe I failed, which is no failure really, it's just feedback that what I've done there hasn't given me the outcomes that I want. So if I'm saying, okay, so I did this and it didn't give me the outcomes that I want, what can I do, taking a step back, taking some reflection, and ask myself, what can I do differently? Your unconscious is going to give you answers that will be something different. If you ask yourself, who do I know that I can reach out to? It could be a friend, it could be somebody that you've connected with on LinkedIn or God knows where. Who do I know that if I reach out to them and ask them to have a conversation, they might just point me in a different direction? I mean, here's the thing, and this is why coaching and mentoring and doing courses and reading a book and speaking with a friend or a therapist is so useful, is that we all have blind spots to who we are. We know what we know, but we also don't know what we don't know. So you may be racking your brain on how to change, and speaking to somebody, they might just give you something, a small little something that is going to make such a big difference and change the trajectory of your life. So you owe it to yourself to find a way to change the thoughts, to change the energy, to change, the blocks, to release the blocks. You may be thinking something is stopping me, but I don't know what it is. And you speak with a friend, you speak with a coach, with a therapist, and it all makes sense. So you've got your next step and you know how to carry on, and so on and so on. Hi, Vicky. Nice to see you. So it's June. I've got space for 4 people to work with on a 6-month to a year program where we help you understand yourself, remove the blocks. So my program is called PEM, which is Personal and Executive Mastery. Personal because it's all about you, it's what you have created, and it's about recognizing your blocks as well as your gifts. It's executive because it's about you making a decision to go forward, and it's mastery because it's you improving who you are. I typically work with micro business owners, but it doesn't stop there. I work with leaders in their behavioral leadership organization with their teams. I'm like a team whisperer, helping them, giving them different way of thinking about what is going on. I'll also work one-on-one with people just to remove their personal blocks. So if you have something that you think, gosh, I know I can do better. I know I have more to offer. I know I can make my life flow. I just don't know how. Because usually we don't know what we don't know, or we know it, but we don't know how to execute it. And therefore, stop keeping yourself blocked. Give me a phone call or get somebody that you know and trust and you believe in. Because if you don't believe in them, it's not going to work, really. And have a conversation with them. Maybe that conversation is all you need. Maybe you need to engage with them and work with them. But whatever it is, it starts with you. And you are magnificent. And you owe it to yourself to have a beautiful and splendid life. You owe it to yourself to create a life that is living life on your terms, to have the money that you want, to do the work that you want, to feel happy, to be joyful. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to get any obstacles coming in your way, but it means that you will know and understand yourself so well that when these things come, you see them as opportunity for growth rather than this has come here to actually hinder me and to push me back because I don't deserve anything and this is so typical and blah, 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 and all these kind of negative internal dialogues that we have with ourselves. Good morning, Will. Nice to see you as well. So, any questions, any comments before I say goodbye and leave you with these thoughts? And I sincerely hope that you will take the time to take a step back while we still have time before we all go back to the new normal. I know that through this corona lockdown, a lot of people have experienced a different way of life that has made them think and question, what can I change and what can I do differently? And I really am not looking forward to going back, or I want to go back, but I want to do it differently, or I want to start something completely different. This is the time, this is the opportunity for you to do the work with yourself because you've got this time now. So you owe it to yourself. It's a new month. It's summertime. It's a new week. Spend some time. Hi, Sherry, and you're welcome. Hey, Wolf, how are you? So spend some time on you. Write it out. I always keep a journal and I write my thoughts. When I listen to an audiobook, I write my thoughts. I write what I'm taking away from it. Keep working with yourself. It's not enough to exercise your body so your body's healthy. It's not enough to just eat well so that your body is healthy on the inside. You have to work with your mind. Find the way. Speak with me, speak with a coach, speak with a mentor, read a book, join a group, do something. You owe it to yourself to create a beautiful life. Thank you very much. Thank you, Will. So Will says, I love this view and thank you. We owe it to ourselves. We didn't come into this world, into this life, to live miserable, to suffer, to struggle, and to be just mediocre. We came here because we are magnificent. So, you are magnificent. Choose who you want to be. Thank you. And I love your journaling approaches. Thank you for that. Well, journaling is, I tell you what is amazing about journaling. When you sit and have thoughts that are just in your thoughts and you sit with them, all right, and you start becoming conscious with them, after a while they just fade away. And you may remember that 2 or 3 days ago, a week ago, you felt rubbish and you had those thoughts, but today you're a different person. Remember what Einstein said, is that you can't solve a problem with the same energy that created it. So if you're feeling inadequate, you cannot be back in that inadequate energy and change it. So the best way, and I find that journaling is not just amazing, it's magical, because everything that's in here comes through the hand, through the body, through the pen, onto the paper, and you just write it. Be raw, be vulnerable, write whatever you want, be horrible about it. It doesn't matter. Just get it out of your head and put it on the paper. Close the book. Go back after 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, and read what you wrote about you and start making different decisions. Start saying, this sucks. I don't want to be this. I don't want to feel this way about myself. So journaling is magical. So I've got some comments. So before we close off, let's have a look. Sarah says, it happens to me Friday. I was thinking to follow an LIS course, in Italian language, and there were a lot of hints. Hold on, I've just lost your phone. A lot of hints open this possibility. Then I asked my husband, what should I do? And he answered, what? Why? Why you need to spend your time better? In that moment, I know I had to do it because I would like to include deaf people in my tours. And I don't know if I ever will learn, but I will try. Stop trying, make a decision and make it happen. And the thing is that stops us from making a decision is the incomplete information. So for instance, if you're looking at a whole course and then you're saying, make the decision to do it, it might feel so overwhelming that you just don't know how you're going to fit it in, because up until now, 24 hours a day have been taken up by food, by sleep, by work, by family time. So make a decision to do the course by spending 3 hours a week. And those 3 hours might be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The minute you break down your tasks and what you want to do, it makes it more possible, because now you're saying, I can do an hour on Monday, I can do an hour on Wednesday. Whereas if you're looking at the whole course, it's like, when am I going to do this? So it starts to make it overwhelming. So stop trying, make a decision about not only doing it, but how you will actually complete it, because that will help you take the next step. I hope that helps. Sarah also says, and most of this is making me happy and I'm changing myself. Of course, anything that we do to improve ourselves, to expand ourselves, to be more of who we want to be. Think back about what is your deepest desire. What is it that you want to achieve in the world? And then start looking at what is it that I need to develop in myself further so that I'm able to achieve that. What is it that is missing? What is it that is lacking? You know, so again, it starts with you. It doesn't start with anybody else. Will says there's something from your course with journaling that really is magical. It's like you are accessing a real, otherwise close part of me. Yeah, that's it. When you journal, things just flow and you write it out. And if you just sit down and think about it, you will forget them. I can guarantee you this. I've been there, done this. My clients have done this. The only way that we can capture magic, never mind just what we keep doing that is wrong, because you'll see patterns in yourself. You'll see the triggers, and then you go, oh my goodness, every time that this happens, I do this, or I feel this, or I stop doing that. And therefore you see your patterns. But for the same token, all that magical genius, magnificence that's within you, if you capture it in your journaling and you read back, you're going to go, wow. I mean, I know, because I write all the time, whether I'm journaling or whether I'm writing out thoughts, ideas. I sometimes go back and read and I think, oh my goodness, this is brilliant. And I wrote this, but I wrote it in a moment where I was losing myself and I was just being me in my energy. I was inspired, and my writing is inspirational because I am in spirit and out of my ego. So think about that. Will also says, I love that approach. I'm so grateful for the I Understand Me program. This program, and I've got it as an online program, the price is going to go back to normal, strictly speaking, today, but I've decided to wait until Thursday or maybe Friday. But this program, this book, I wrote it because of so many consultations that I had with people that were coming with the issues and stuff, and they just didn't understand how they had this stuff. They didn't understand how they operate. So this is like an operation manual for you as a human being. And then it gives you the opportunity through exercises to actually go deeper in and start to see how you using the basic structures that every person does, but how are you using it to create the outcomes that you've got? It helps you understand emotions, your language, your communication with yourself, all sorts of things. Hi, Rosanna. Hi, Beju. So Will also says that's so true about the triggers and the magic. It brings it all together, and so much with magic. And of course, it transforms it. It can only be transformed when we recognize it. And sometimes, I would like to say all times, when we're just sitting with our thoughts and we're just thinking about them, whether it's inspirational thoughts or whether it is detrimental thoughts to ourselves, they float away. And then 2-3 days later, you go, what was that thought? Oh, man. Oh, we're back. Sorry, we sometimes have a little bit of internet thing. So sometimes we have this inspiration and then we go, oh, what was that inspiration? I can't remember. I mean, I get loads of inspirations when I'm either swimming or when I'm in the shower. So I don't know, maybe I was a mermaid in a previous life. And I wish I had a way of capturing all the thoughts that I have in the shower. But I have kind of trained my mind now, because I know this, that as soon as I get out of the shower, I keep thinking about this and then I jot it down. I put some key points and then I go back to them. But journaling will bring up all your magnificent magic, as well as all the stuff that trigger you to stop yourself, to put yourself down, to block yourself, your opinion, all of that kind of stuff, all your fears, all your anxieties. So journaling is magic. It helps you understand what is going on. And this book helps you understand how you function. Okay, so great month, start of a new week. Ask yourself, start off by saying, I am magnificent. Really, really take this on. I am magnificent. So what is my deepest desire? And write it down. Take some time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour. What is my deepest desire? And just start writing it down, and then ask, remember, the intelligent questions. How can I start to achieve them? What is a tiny step that will move me closer? Do not think that this is going to happen overnight. It never does. We are not built that way. Okay, so we are built to progress and to change all the time, but it happens in tiny steps. One step brings to the other, one to the other. Okay, so I hope this has been something worthy for you. If you want to have a chat with me, send me a personal Facebook message. Let's just at least talk. Let's just have that conversation. What you decide to do that, whether you work with me or whether you go and read a book that I can recommend, I can send you videos. I've got so much resources to share. So maybe that's all you need. Or maybe you're going to go and join a group, or find a coach near you. Whatever it is, let's just talk and let me inspire you to be magnificent and to live your life on your terms. Thank you. Have a great week and a great start to a new month.